Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another installment of Scott Selections here with StatSalt.com. Just to recap here, just to recap Saturday, we ended up getting a win yesterday with Harvard Pick'em. It ended up closing at -1 in most spots, but Harvard was able to get the job done as they won by 8 points, which pushes our record here at Scott Selections to 7-3 overall. But it is currently March 17th, and we look for one last winner before March Madness officially begins with the NCAA tournament. So, without further ado, we're going to go ahead and talk about it, where we like Georgia State -3.5 here in the Sun Belt Championship game against UT Arlington. Now, first thing to mention is that this game will be on a neutral site in Louisiana. So the fact is you have a team from Texas and a team from Georgia where there won't be much of a home court advantage for either team. But just to recap both team seasons so far, Georgia State is currently 23-9 and they're 13-5 in conference play, where UT Arlington is 17-15 overall with a 12-6 record in conference play. Now, just before we actually go into the matchup itself, just some quick trends to support our theory about Georgia State. The Georgia State Panthers are currently 4-0 ATS in their last 4 games overall, and they are also 4-0 ATS in their last 4 games versus the Sun Belt Conference, and they are 4-1-1 ATS in their last 6 games following a straight-up win. Now, it's important to mention that we spent a lot of time on this show talking about matchups in the conference tournament where these teams have played in the regular season, and we feel like there is an edge because of the way that these teams have played previously during the regular season. And this is another one of those examples where Georgia State has played UT Arlington in conference play twice already this season, and this will be the third matchup, where Georgia State has swept both meetings against UT Arlington as these teams have played twice, and Georgia State has won both games by at least 5 points. And in those 2 games, UT Arlington has scored less than 72 points in either game. Now, it's also important to mention that we like to focus on a statistical advantage between the team that we support and the team that we're against, and that actually applied yesterday between Penn and Harvard, where we mentioned the free throw disparity between these teams, where Penn shot about 64% from the foul line and Harvard shot about 70% from the foul line, and that played a huge factor in the game itself as Harvard won by 8. Harvard shot 78.9% from the foul line, and Penn shot 63.6% from the foul line. Just an important factor to mention how we like to focus here on StatSalt.com at specific advantages that one team has in the statistical advantage, where one team could pull it open or blow it open late due to a huge disparity in terms of statistics. So in this matchup itself, we are going to be looking at the three-point line matchup between both teams, as Georgia State is a significantly better three-point shooting team than UT Arlington, and Georgia State is shooting 38.5% from the three-point line, which ranks tied for 16th in the entire country, where UT Arlington is shooting a pedestrian 30.9% from the three-point line, which ranks 328th in the country. That's important to mention because of the fact that since the spread is only 3.5, it's very important for teams to capitalize on all the open three-point shots they might be able to get from the various drives and kicks that they might be getting in today's college basketball, just based on the style of play. So it's also important to mention the fact that in addition to three-point efficiency, regular field goal efficiency is a huge factor in this game, as UT Arlington is shooting 41.1% from the floor, where Georgia State is shooting 46.6%. So needless to say, Georgia State is a much more efficient team on offense, and they are coming into this game off of a tremendous performance against Texas State, where they only allowed 46 points in the entire game. This team is clicking defensively. This team is averaging 77.2 points per game. So we know for a fact that Georgia State has the ability under Coach Ron Hunter to score a lot of points as well as play defense at an elite level when necessary. So we feel like it is definitely an advantage for Georgia State in -3.5 in this Sun Belt title game, considering the fact that they've beaten this team already twice by the margin necessary to cover the spread in the regular season by winning it by at least 5 points or more. And UT Arlington has done a really good job of rallying itself in conference play, with a 12-6 record, but the team only shoots roughly 41% from the floor. We don't think UT Arlington will score enough points, and we think Georgia State should be able to cover the spread and win this game by roughly 5 points or more. Now, that is going to do it for this installment of Scott Selections on March 17th. We are currently 7-3 in our first 10 picks on this show, which all of the picks are at -110 lines. So far we've been extremely profitable, but as we stated yesterday, we cannot afford to get complacent. And with March Madness approaching, it is important for us to continue staying at this current hot pace that we are at. So to hopefully continue our winners right before March Madness officially begins with the first 4 games and Selection Sunday coming up on St. Patrick's Day this coming Sunday, we like Georgia State to win the Sun Belt Championship for the 2nd year in a row, and by winning by a margin of at least 4 points. So that's going to be doing it for this installment of Scott Selections for March 17th. And hopefully everybody has a very profitable Sunday, and I hope everybody enjoys a very nice St. Patrick's Day. So that's going to do it. Hope everybody has a good day, and good luck to everybody and their bets. Have a good day, everybody.